Thanks to the support as a channel member, Angry Scotsman Plays. Oh, boys and girls, apologies for not having a video for you over the weekend. As you may know, if you've been following me on Twitter or Twitch or wherever else it might be, I am currently suffering with gallstones, and I had a little bit of a flare-up on Thursday night, which has completely wiped me out. It's Monday morning, Monday lunchtime as I'm recording this. I don't think I've ever recorded a video this close to release before. I'm still a little iffy, a little queasy, but we're gonna crack on. We're gonna get a video done for you. It does mean that with this becoming more and more of a recurring issue, videos will occasionally be a little bit sporadic. If you see me missing for a day, that's probably why. Your best bet is to head over to Twitter and I'll have explained what's happening over there. But fingers crossed, I am now recovering from my latest attack. We should have videos all this week and hopefully be back on Twitch tonight as well. So I need to avoid cheese, meat, and anything delicious, and we'll be fine. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 4 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two big games for you in Serie A. I get confused. I realise this is very much a me problem, but every time I look at the fixture list and see this, I think, hold on. Oh, we're away. No, we're at home. No, they need to call this something other than Serie A or something other than home and away. It's very confusing. Either way, we're playing Roma and Inter. Inter are top of the league and have been winning the league quite a lot recently, and Roma would like to consider themselves quite a big deal as well. Since you were last with me, as you can see, we've been doing pretty well. Newcastle game aside, in the last episode, we've picked up a few victories, a lot of victories, including victories in Europe as well against Genk and Djurgardens. I actually have a Djurgardens shirt. I could have got this. I think that's in storage, actually. It was sent by one of those mystery box companies at some point. But that's how the Europa League table is currently looking. We should be fine in the Europa League and cruise through the rest of the league stage because we don't have to play against anyone else good in that now. So focus is now on the league for the time being, where we are 6 points behind Inter with a game in hand and hopefully about to start narrowing that gap a little bit, as it's very much been the Inter and Juventus show for a number of years. And looking at that, it seems like it's our turn to win the league. So this is the team that we're going to be putting out there for the Roma game, the first of today's two matches. We've got Secco in goal, a back four of Mansare, Sotalo, Bremer and Agostini. Locatelli at the base of the midfield. Apparently I'm saying this guy's name wrong. Zabazlai? Is that better? Zabozlai? What's his first name? Dominic alongside Baturina in midfield, Fabris on the left, Chiesa on the right, and then Vlahovic up front. Let's just go out and beat Roma. I think that's probably the best thing we can do to take my mind off the fact that I can't say Zabozlai. Can't say his name. I mean, I can see with my eyes, I can see that it's not Zabolazai. I've heard so many other people call him that. It's kind of got stuck in my head, and now it's stuck in my head. I'm going to try. I've just seen my boy Tammy is still at Roma this far into the future. I am very much a big Tammy Abraham guy. Always like to have him in a streamer showdown. I've signed him in many, many saves, both here and over on Twitch over the years. He's probably going to score against us today. Now, Fabris is in here, though, and he's got past the goalkeeper and slides it into the back of the net. It's a sixth goal of the season for Fabris after less than a minute. There's 30 seconds on the clock here. He gets there just ahead of the goalkeeper. Remember, and we learned this in the last episode, goalkeepers have been fixed as part of the winter update. Ball over the top. Fabris, I mean, that one's less of a goalkeeping howler and more of a Fabris was just a little bit too quick for him and he's misjudged it. You still wouldn't be happy seeing it if that was your goalkeeper, but certainly not anything close to what we'll forever describe as the Secco incident, which will hopefully never happen again. But we are 1-0 up. That is important. Also important to see Fabris continuing to show that he should have been the team for the last 3 years. I don't know why he wasn't. Someone did say in the comments, in fact, Vlahovic is in here, so are we going to grab another one? We are. Vlahovic, already 14 goals for the season. He's quite good as well. But on the Fabris issue, someone rightly pointed out that probably the reason he's not played at all for the last couple of years is, I guess, Juventus were playing a system that didn't involve wingers or wide midfield players, probably doing like a proper Italian style back five, maybe the flat back seven that you see so much of in Serie A. We're not seeing it at the moment on either team, but even if that was the case, you would expect him to just play there. You'd train him to play wing back. You'd train him to play central midfield. It's still no excuse for him not making a single appearance in any competition in 2 years. I mean, we're not currently playing with an attacking midfielder, for example. If we had an attacking midfielder come for our youth team now, we'd give him game time. We'd play him up front. We'd play him out on the wings. We'd play him in central midfield. We'd retrain him. If he was really good, like Fabrice is, he's the best young player we've got at the club, we might even experiment with doing something a little bit different tactically. What we wouldn't do is just ignore that he existed for 2 years. It is genuinely baffling, but that's great work from Locatelli, who's just so confidently kept hold of the ball there in front of the back four. And now Chiesa coming forward on this right-hand side, plays it over the top to Batterina, who's burst into the penalty area, slides it across, and there is my boy Dominic with his 5th goal of the season. It's 3-0, and it's easy peasy. Roma are being absolutely smashed here by a Juventus team that is starting to find some form. Obviously, there's still going to be, even if we go and win the league this year, which is a big if, and we probably shouldn't get too excited about that until we play into in the second half of the episode. But even if we do go on and win the league, there's still a lot of work to do here because of just the age profile of the squad. We're very much early stages of a rebuild. You've got Vlahovic, Chiesa, Szoboszlai, Batterina, Locatelli, Bremer, Sotalo, all over 30, all going to need replacing in the next 1 to 3 seasons. So, yeah, there's work to be done, and we obviously need to get this team back in the Champions League as job number 1, so players will actually agree to come to us. We found in the summer just gone that the likes of Aspas, of course, who we had at Barcelona, refused to even discuss terms with us because he would only consider playing for a team that was in the Champions League, which I guess is fair enough, but still stung a little bit because, you know, I made him what he is, and he used to play for West Ham, and they weren't in the Champions League. But it's 3-1 now. Roma have got themselves a little goal back just before halftime. Hopefully not the sign of things to come as we head towards the second half. Secco beaten comfortably at the near post. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. But we are going to try and sneak a 4th in just before halftime as well. And we do. And it's Bremer with his 1st goal of the season. What a strange first half this has been. We scored after 30 seconds and we've scored a minute after added time was supposed to end as well. Two stoppage time goals, one for us, one for them. What a strange first half. But we do end it 4-1 up. We've got an injury to Batterina, so we can take him off. That's easy enough. We'll bring Boatini on. So Boslai can go into the more attacking central midfield role, and Boatini can just carry on doing his normal box-to-box midfield thing that he's been doing ever since he arrived with us. And we're just in cruise control now. We've got one eye on the Inter game that's going to be coming up in a minute. I think there's a week between the 2 matches, so I don't think we have to worry too much with regards to resting players for it. I think it's a relatively generous schedule in Italy compared to what it is in Spain or England. What country are you from, Kev? England. That's the name of the country I was trying to remember the name of, or certainly compared to what I've been playing in Portugal and Switzerland in the Twitch saves. Just constant cups, constant matches coming one after the other. We do seem to, like I say, it's a little bit more relaxed here in Italy, not throwing loads of matches at us constantly, which is nice. Nice little change of pace. Right, let's... who is Kolarich? I know I've not played the game for a few days, but I don't know who this guy is. I mean, has he been injured? How do I not know him? I've played him in 6 Champions League games. We haven't played... Oh, no, hold on. We've not played in the Champions League. They're internationals. So he's been playing for Serbia's young... He must have been injured. How have I only just noticed him? Well, we're just going to pretend that I did know about him, and this is just me forgetting because I've not played the game for a few days. So let's get him on. He can play left back for us. I mean, definitely looks like a left back. He's a right footer. Going to be a great left back for us one day. Let's also take off Chiesa, give him a little bit of a rest. We're not going to bring... My assistant manager, some of this is questionable. We're not going to bring Porro on. We'll bring Gratakos on that side. Zeben Placencia. Yeah, he's not any good. Yeah, Gratakos, who hopefully is going to become a star for us. We'll steal him away from Barcelona. He can come on that side. And you know what? At 4-1 up, we may as well make the rest of our changes now as well. So Lopez can come on. And we're also going to take off Vlahovic if I can get a proper hold of him. What have I done there? Undo. Vlahovic. Where is Alvarez? Come on, past Kev. Why have you not got him on the bench? I guess Placencia. We are desperate for another striker. Their 2-star current ability, 2.5-star potential striker is playing for us up front. Our left back is playing left wing. We've got a centre back / right back playing at left back. A central midfielder playing right wing. Yeah, there's definite work to do. And they've got Calvert-Lewin at Roma. I feel like I already knew that. We've played against Roma at one of these previous clubs, haven't we? In one of our Champions League runs. I've seen them with Tammy and Calvert-Lewin up front together. That is an interesting front two at Roma. It doesn't look like they play together anymore. I guess they're both a little bit too old to be playing together week in, week out now. And Roma are forcing their way through. And again, it's another stoppage time goal. It's certainly not been the kind of game where you could get away with nipping off for a toilet or nipping off for a toilet. That's how people speak in real life. Nipping off to go to the toilet or get yourself a pie. Do they have pies in Italy? I'll find out when I go to a Juventus game, hopefully, in a few weeks. If anyone can find me tickets for Juventus versus Napoli, I can't imagine that one's going to be a hard one to get into. It is the only match I can get to, actually, calendar-wise this season. So, it's going to be tricky. I'm going to do my best to just be in Turin that weekend anyway. And if I end up in the ground, even without a ticket, we'll figure. If anyone from Juventus can sort me out with a ticket, that would be nice. But then I'll find out if they have pies or not. And I didn't realise we're actually playing them in 3 days. Probably should have focused more on. I mean, I guess we did rest most of the old men. Let's go play Inter. Right, the good news is I found Julian Alvarez. He's injured. Paskev probably knew about that. Also, probably shouldn't have brought Boatini off the bench because he was also injured but played a little bit of the match against Roma. We've just made the one change for the Inter game with Anal coming back in from the bench. I don't know why Paskev had him on the bench, but I like to have him in the team, so he comes in ahead of Bremer. Even though Bremer did score in the last game, that might be a little bit harsh. But you know what? That's not how we judge centre-backs. It's not all about scoring. And if anyone's going to score, it's the big boy who we've just brought into the team. Right, this is an absolutely crucial fixture as far as this early title race goes, because Inter had pulled out a little bit of a gap at the top of the table ahead of us. But if we can nip in and go ahead of them here, that sets us up very nicely to plough on with the season from this point on. I'm not quite sure what Vlahovic was attempting there. That was never going to go anywhere near the goal. Although, actually, I might be judging it a little harshly because it has ended up in a corner. So I guess it was actually a save from the goalkeeper, Zabozlai, who I'm pretty sure that's just, if I'm still not saying his name right, that is as good as it's ever going to get. So let me know. Do you prefer that or the way I've been saying it? Because I mean, yeah, it's got to be one of those. I can't get any better than that. Locatelli, 2. My boy Dominic in midfield plays it into Vlahovic, who, that's got to be a corner again. Okay, I think Vlahovic has been given offside. It looked like he had got a decent angle for an attempt on goal there, but unfortunately, everything seemed to move a little bit slowly, and it ended up getting pushed around the post. But it's been a bright start from us. Inter haven't really got going yet. They've not yet had a shot on target. We've only had one, to be fair, with Vlahovic misfiring a couple of times. But, you know, we've had the brighter of the two starts, and that's the most important thing. There is Anal playing it forward to Sotalo. I don't know why it's our two centre-backs that are playing in these wide areas, and Sotalo really looking like a winger playing on the, looking like a centre-back playing on the left wing there, struggling twice to get the crossing, and Chiesa looking like a defender with a lovely tackle from him, but then looks a little bit more like Chiesa again, playing the ball through to Vlahovic, who once again misfires. He's been in such incredible form that he is struggling to find the back of the net today. Zabozlai with the corner finds Anal, and that's why you bring that boy in. This is what we were so used to seeing from him during the network game last year, where he was a star man for my Keverton team. It's the first goal he's got for us this season, but I'm sure it's going to be the first of many because he is a big threat from these set pieces, and that puts us 1-0 up on the, I was going to say on the stroke of half time. I don't know how many minutes are in a football half. It's nowhere near half time. there's plenty of opportunity for more goals. As we saw in the last game, there could be loads of goals in this half yet. But it is Inter with their first highlight of the match now that we've scored a goal, trying to play it in. They've got a guy who's just called Dan. Are we suddenly down at the fiver side and they've just drafted Dan in to play on the right, on the left wing for him? Who on earth's Dan? Get it. At least call yourself Daniel or Dan. I mean, why am I trying to find other words that Dan could be short for? Danielle. It could be Danielle. Who knows? Oh my word. Secco with a... we're going to start calling them Secco moments. And yeah, he is not filling me with a huge amount of confidence. Baturina playing it into Agostini. Agostini now to Locatelli. Cross comes in. Szoboszlai with his header goes just over. We are top of the league as things stand, but goal difference... I think goal difference doesn't matter as much in this league. I think it goes head-to-head before goal difference. So obviously, the fact that we're beating Inter is why we go above them, even though our goal difference isn't as good, because obviously we have a better head-to-head by beating them. Oh, look, Secco's come out here to have a little go with the football now. That's not alarming at all. Baturina playing it to Vlahovic, who's dropped deep here, plays it into Fabris, who is in again, and he scores again. And I ask again, how was he not in the team for 2 years? The referee's got his finger in his ear. It doesn't matter, though, because the goal has been given. And this is just lovely football. And this guy is such a threat coming off this left-hand side. I acknowledge, I accept that maybe Juventus weren't playing with wide men for a couple of years. But just start playing with wide men. You've got such a great winger, such a great inside forward in the team, in the squad, who's come through your own youth system, who was so upset when I arrived he wanted to leave because he wasn't getting opportunity. It's baffling. The previous manager deserved to be sacked just for that nonsense of a decision. Right, let's make a couple of changes just to try and keep everybody nice and fresh. Bremer can come on at the back. Agostini's tiring and not having the best of games, so we can bring the youngster Maggioni on, who probably is the other guy who has a shout for being best youngster at the club. Certainly very good potential, not quite got the same level of current ability that Fabris has, but of course Fabris is a couple of years older than him, bringing big boy Gervasio on in midfield as well, who is he 6'5"? Do I remember that right? I don't remember a lot since I last played the game on Thursday of last week, but I have thought a lot about Gervasio and the fact that he is enormous, and it kind of has occupied my mind during some of the darker moments of writhing around in gallstone pain. Just the idea that I've got Gervasio waiting for me as soon as I log back into the game has just filled me with hope and happiness. Right, we're going to bring Lopez on to play left back because we're only 2-0 up. Into quite a good team. Let's, oh, not the pervert corner. Oh, what do you know? We gave the ball away. Who'd have thought? Why do we do that? Why don't I turn that off? I'll tell you why I don't turn that off. People talk about Kev using exploits. The reason we've got that pervert corner on is because if I only had near post and far post corners on, we would score so many corners, it would be ridiculous. That's like an anti-exploit, the reason I have that near post corner on. We very rarely see it in highlights. Not the near post corner, sorry, the short corner. It almost never shows up in highlights because it always fails. But that's why it's on there. It's like a counter exploit where I acknowledge corners are too overpowered. So I've deliberately put a terrible corner that never works on so that it balances a little bit. But it is frustrating when we see it play out, especially when it's a tight game against a big team. But ultimately, it looks like it's not really going to matter. We've got a couple of minutes left on the clock. We've got a 2-goal lead. Looking at the match stats, we've comfortably outplayed Inter today as well. We're very good value for our lead. And this is looking good for the rest of the season for us. We've got the January transfer window on the horizon where we definitely are going to need to bring a striker in because we can't just keep relying on a 33-year-old Vlahovic all season long. Oh, what a goal from Pasquale Maggioni. What a way to announce yourself as, no, I'm the best young player at the club. All right, Pasquale, you're the best 21-year-old. I will give you that. And that was brilliant from him. That is why Agostini has got a future for us playing in midfield, because Maggioni is going to be our right back and he's going to be ascending to that role sooner than later if he carries on doing stuff like that. I love a right back who can get forward and drive the ball across goal and score goals like that one. It's beautiful to see. Inter now finally trying to knock the ball around us a little bit, and Seco makes a great save, but unfortunately pushes it right back into the path of one of my former players in the shape of Mudryk, who I had at Spurs, and he tucks the ball into the back of the net. It should only be a consolation goal, hopefully. If we can, I mean, it was great. It was a nice reaction save from Seco. I'm not turning on Seco yet. I've mocked him a little bit today. It's all playful though. He knows I love him, and we're top of the league, and that is all that matters. Right, we are going to get some games under our belt, having missed an episode over the weekend. I don't think I need to show you much in the way of European matches. They should all be relatively straightforward. So we'll come back for some big league matches. I'm looking at Milan and Lazio as a good double header. That also brings us nicely into that January transfer window where we have got a little bit of money to spend, and hopefully we'll be able to bring in a striker. 22 million is reserved to cover player loans being made permanent. I've never seen that before. That's the two players. That finally confirms that those two centre-backs who we've got on loan, if we win the league, are going to become permanent, because it's right there. I suspected that was the case. There's your confirmation. But £16 million to spend in January. Hopefully we'll be top of the league when we get there as well. And we might have a better chance of convincing some players that we are going to be in the Champions League again soon. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.